All right, gang, tonight I am going off to the cinema to go check out Ghost in the Shell.
They created me, but they cannot control me.
Okay, so I have a very crazy confession to make. I have not seen the original 1995 anime movie of the same name.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I know. It's shocking. I guess you could say this marks a highly rare occurrence for me going into a film like a pilgrim in an unholy land.
My boy, we're pilgrims in an unholy land.
Protect me, spirit of Sean Connery. All right, gang, I just got out of Ghost in the Shell. Now, this is going to be a very tricky film for me to actually review, primarily because, as I alluded to earlier, I have not seen the original 1995 anime film of the same name, which inspired this live-action remake. So I have to review this remake without really understanding the original film or knowing anything about the original film. So I guess the job of the film critic is to go to see the film, report on what you've seen, and then report on whether or not you think the film is successful in what it's trying to achieve. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with Ghost in the Shell.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
And this is a science fiction action film which is set in the distant future where humanity has been able to develop sort of a symbiotic relationship with machines, and people have been able to augment various parts of their anatomy and body and brains with machines. So it's like the ultimate marriage of man and machine.
There was an attack. You were dying. We saved you. And now you save others.
Scarlett Johansson stars as this woman who, through reasons far too complicated for me to get into and also would involve spoilers, plays a character that is unfortunately killed, but has her brain submerged into a synthetic body. So in essence, her spirit, her soul, her ghost inhabits this machine-like shell.
You are the first of your kind, but you're not invulnerable.
Maybe next time you can design me better.
For the purposes of this corporation that basically uses her as this anti-terrorist weapon to fight various evildoers that are trying to inflict ill will on humanity.
I'm going in.
On a positive, I will say this about Ghost in the Shell. This film is directed by Rupert Sanders, and if you don't know who that is, he directed Snow White and the Huntsman, which was this really mesmerizing looking retelling of the Snow White mythology. And if anything, Ghost in the Shell, on a level of art direction, set design, costumes, and visual effects, is a masterful achievement. I mean, this film just looks absolutely stupendous. The cityscapes alone, the futuristic cityscapes, imagine if you would the futuristic metropolis as presented in Luc Besson's Fifth Element, combined with Coruscant from the prequel trilogy, further cross-pollinated with the dark futuristic Los Angeles from Blade Runner. And yet I think you kind of have a rough idea how the future world of this film looks, and it looks so textured and believable, and the visual effects are just absolutely mind-blowing.
All patrolling area units be advised. Possible cybercrime activity in the vicinity. Airspace and all controlled areas to be locked in. Section 9 is currently on site. Repeat.
Holy and shit. On a level of just pure visual immersion, Ghost in the Shell is endlessly enthralling.
I have been made strong and fast.
What a beauty you are.
It is just a technological dynamo on every level.
Holy and shit.
This is a film that certainly deserves big screen consumption, and also I would probably argue deserves to be seen in 3D. I think it makes really good subtle usage of 3D for further visual immersion. I don't really comment on movie soundtracks a lot when I review movies, but this movie's synthesized heavy soundtrack is also equally amazing. I think it's one of the best synth heavy soundtracks maybe since Tron Legacy.
Let's finish this.
Right behind you, Major.
You know, I think the film deals with a lot of compelling themes that have really been the highlight of the science fiction genre, I think, since the genre really began. And, you know, it really dabbles into themes of humanity and the soul and identity and what it means to maintain your soul and your humanity in the midst of a futuristic world where, again, that line between machine and man is constantly blurred.
They have improved us so much since they made me.
Who are you?
I think on a level of thematic ambition, Ghost in the Shell is very compelling.
They didn't just kill them. They hacked into their minds.
It's everywhere and nowhere.
I guess the real problem with Ghost in the Shell is that these themes really have been done before, and I think they've been done better in films before.
What is going on? Since when?
If you look at the litany of man and machine heavy themed science fiction films that have come before it, I think Ghost in the Shell really struggles a little bit with its, you know, with its thematic undercurrents.
You never talk about your past.
I don't remember much. Just fragments.
I also think that this film is very awkwardly paced. I think it gets off to a rousing start, and then it sort of hits a lull in its middle sections, and then it reaches it's this weird pendulum, this weird momentum pendulum. I think it does the film a disservice, and you know, I think the film is a little under 2 hours, but you know what? It certainly felt sluggish, and it felt longer than 2 hours at times.
Everyone around me, they feel connected to something. Connected to something I'm not.
You know, there's this whole notion of whitewashing in Ghost in the Shell, very much publicized, almost as much so, if not more, than the recent Matt Damon historical epic, The Great Wall. I'm a little more troubled with how I could possibly defend Scarlett Johansson's casting in this film, considering the fact that, as far as I know, her character in the original anime film was Asian. We'll say this without completely dismissing the accusations of whitewashing against this film, that I think the screenplay finds a rather clever method to explain why this character is Caucasian in the film. I don't want to get into it anymore because that would be spoilerific.
Spoilers!
I think it kind of works, and ultimately it didn't make me, you know, offended with Scarlett Johansson's casting in the film.
But
And Scarlett Johansson's actually pretty decent in this film. You know, for all that talk years ago about how, oh my God, she's cast as Black Widow. Why isn't Emily Blunt cast as Black Widow? Scarlett Johansson, I don't think this is going to work.
What is going on? Since when did...
You know, she has more than sold herself as a bona fide action star, and I think Ghost in the Shell is proof positive of that. But you know what? Ultimately, and rather ironically, Ghost in the Shell sort of lacks a soul. Like, I found this film very cold and distancing. While watching it, I wanted it to invite me in, but I felt like it was sort of oddly pushing me away at the same time. It's a very odd feeling. It's just a masterpiece of visual effects ingenuity and innovation. But it tells a story and it deals with themes that I've seen in other science fiction films before, and themes and storylines that have been done better. Found the film sort of dramatically hollow. It's a prime example of a film that's all superficial style, I think, with very little substance lurking beneath. And if anything, the live-action Ghost in the Shell movie makes me really yearn to check out the original 1995 anime movie, and I'm not entirely sure if that's a ringing endorsement of the live-action film. So there you go. There's my review of Ghost in the Shell. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film. Also, let me know in the comments whether or not you thought this was a very good remake of the original anime film, especially if you've seen the anime film. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you could like this video, I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe to my channel, that would mean the absolute world to me. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you at the movies.